Hey, how's everyone doing? This is Oz with Oz Mechanics, and on today's video I got this 2008 Dodge Nitro right behind me. So the issue with this Dodge Nitro, customer was complaining that the heater's not working, it's just blowing cold air. It's about to start getting cold right here in our area, so we want to make sure that this customer is nice and cozy. So let's get to this video and let's fix up this vehicle. Alright, so we're inside the vehicle right now and we're about to test this out, but I will let you know the customer did some repairs to this vehicle, and I believe he said he did a heater core flush, changed out the coolant, and some other stuff. So right now what we're going to do, we're going to try to start diagnosing this. And as you can see right now, we have this tool, and this is a power probe tool. So this is kind of cool. The top one right here, that's the temperature inside the vehicle, and then what we have on this other one, the bottom one, that's coming from this vent right here. Right now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and turn this on a little bit lower so you don't get all that noise right there. So the cool thing with this, it has two probes right here. So we have probe 1 and probe 2. I will put a description down below on this tool right here, so if you want to buy it, you can go to the Amazon page, you can purchase it there. And as you can see right now, we are on hot, all the way hot. We are facing us right here, the front vents, and you can see right now, and it's actually getting cooler right now. So what we want to do next, we want to start looking at different things. So I'm going to let this just run for about 5 minutes, see what happens, and then after that we're going to go actually outside to our engine compartment, and I have a FLIR camera, and we're going to hook that up, and we're going to see what's our outlet and inlet temperatures going into our heater core. And then after that we'll come back and we'll see what kind of temperature readings we have. All right, while we wait, I was going to see, I went to the HVAC module and I try to see if we have any codes. Of course, we're probably not going to have any codes right here for that, but I did want to look at the data right here. So if we look at the data, we actually do see the main temp potentiometer. This is going to let us kind of correlate. So I'm going to have that right here at 100%. We're all the way on hot. So once I turn this, you'll see that it's going to change. And there you go, we're all the way to the cold, and then now we're reading 0. At least that's showing that we are responding right here. This is actually working right here. We know that, but now we can look at what our temperatures are for our vehicle, and we're at 158. And as you can see, right now we are still on hot, and we're reading about 87 coming out of the vents. This is a little bit hotter than the top, but still not what we need, because you can just imagine if it's a cold day, this is not going to do. We got the FLIR camera. Let's go look at the inlets and outlets coming out from the heater core, and let's see what we get right there. So let's go to the front of the vehicle, let's see what we find out. So we are in the engine compartment. Before I get the FLIR camera, we have our tool right here, and you don't need a FLIR camera. You can actually use one of these right here, but kind of want to make the video look cool, so we're going to use the FLIR camera, and it's kind of cool seeing how hot it is right there. But if you don't have one of these, you can just go by touch as well, and we can tell right now that this right here is a little bit warmer than the other side. But looking at this tool right here, this is kind of cool because this is actually wireless. So the other connector is actually inside, and we can see right now that right here we're looking at 83 degrees outside, and inside we're at 93. That's just a cool little feature right there. Now let's check this out with this thermal gun. So we're looking at this side, which I said was a little hotter. We're at 140, and then this side 105. So you can see there's about 30-degree difference. Could it just be that this is just not flushed right? Because yeah, you can feel it right there. Let's just get the FLIR so we can have a little bit more dramatics right there, so you can actually see the difference on it, how much cooler this one is. But yeah, we can tell from this, that's 146 to 110. They should be pretty identical, but this is not showing that. See, 150 to 110. But let's get our FLIR camera so we can check this out. As you can see right here, look, this is my finger, and this is coming out from this side, and check out this right here. Look at the difference in temperature. 160. To the side 120. So there's a 40-degree difference. As you can see, this is my hand. 83. But look at this. Kind of cool. All right. We saw the coolness of the FLIR camera. That's pretty cool. I am gonna put a description down below if you want to buy one of those. They're fairly expensive, but you know, just another tool in your arsenal. So I had to charge the FLIR camera, and as you can see, now the temperature has gone up. We're at 206, and coming out of vents is 109. I can tell you this, it's not really hot. It's kind of just warm. When we looked at inlet and outlet, we're about 40-degree difference. So that's kind of significant right there. What can be causing this? Can it be, you know, air in the system? That's one thing. We should be looking into that. Or can we just have a clogged heater core? I'm putting my money on a clogged heater core right here. I could say air in the system. Well, you know what? Let's go to the front of the vehicle. I'm going to show you something that this vehicle has. And there's going to be kind of like a little bleeder screw. So if they didn't bleed it right, there's a good chance that there might be air in the system. And that might be one of the main causes. So let's go to the front of the vehicle. I'll show you what we're talking about. And then I'm going to show you my way on how to bleed this out. Right here, the vehicle has a little bleed screw. So right now what I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and open this up. Wait a little bit because right now the vehicle is hot. We did see it was 204 degrees. We're going to open this up. We're going to put our funnel right here that we have some. I'm going to put the description on the funnel down below as well. And then we're going to see if we have any bubbles coming out. And then we can actually check that out and see how our temperature is right here. So let's give that a shot, because remember, the customer did change out the coolant. So I just want to verify that he did change out and take out all the air bubbles from here. So let's give that a shot. Let's see what happens. All right, so we're going to be using this tool right here. So this is an OEM tool and no spill coolant filling funnel kit. I think I bought this at AutoZone. There's a part number right there, but I will put the description down below as well for this tool right here. So this has all these different connections right here and adapters and so on. But on this one, we're going to be using this one right here. That's going to go for that. So what we're going to do, we're going to get this right here, fit that in place. Once this is nice and good, now we can put this in there. And this also has like a little plug right here, so whenever you know you want to stop filling it, you can put the plug in place, take this out, and then put it away. So we have our coolant right here. What we want to do with this has to be our highest point. So this is going to be the highest point right here. As we can see, this is higher than anything right here. So what I want to do first is kind of just open up that little screw right there and see if we have any air bubbles coming out. And then after that, we don't see any air bubbles, we're going to go ahead and then turn this on and see if we have anything that comes out after we have everything circulating. So right now what we're going to do, we're going to use gravity to push this down and see if we get any air bubbles out from that little hole. If we don't see anything from there, we're going to go ahead, close it up, run this for a little bit, see what we get. So let's go to this little hole right here. Let's open it up and see if we have any air bubbles coming out first. What we're using here for this application is going to be a size 8. And we're going to go ahead, make sure that you have a little cash can in the bottom. Let this flow out for a second. And I'm just trying to see if we see any bubbles. But like right here, I don't see any bubbles. This is actually streaming pretty good. So no bubbles there. Now what we're going to do is turn on the vehicle and see if we get anything through the funnel. All right, we can actually see the bubbles right there. I think that's when the thermostat opened. It went up, then down. After doing this for a while, look at the inside temperature, 131. When I was revving this up, this actually went up, down, and burped, and all this and that. And I did feel right as soon as I did that, it was a difference. So let's check this out. Let's see. So 189, 188, and then the outside 174. So now we got a difference about 14 degrees compared to back then. It was about 40 degrees, and we can clearly see now the inside, it is nice and scorching. Look at that, 131. I felt the difference from there, and pretty much it was all just by burping the system. So by burping the system right here, we got all the air out of the system, like I explained right here. So when we have air in the system, we're not going to have sufficient heating and cooling of the engine, because basically what the coolant does right here, it cools the engine down, and then as well it uses this hot coolant to heat up the cabin inside. But if we have air in the system, that's just not going to work out. So there you go, we have the fix right here. I'm telling you, now it's going to be nice and toasty. So these nice winter days, we're going to be at 131 inside, and as well, this is working a lot better. So this is a nice little tool to have. We used a thermal gun, basically this funnel right here, and this power probe too. Those are actually pretty handy right here. So there you go. Now the customer is going to be nice and happy now that they're going to have a nicely heated inside of the cabin, because now the heater's working properly. So we are back again, and as you can see, I actually took off the heater hose right there. Remember in the video we had good temperature coming out. It was a little bit of difference, but once I was driving the vehicle just to verify the actual fix, the vent temperature started dropping dramatically, but it was at 131-ish, and then while driving they'll start dropping, and then from there we're about 100 degrees inside. Let me show you something right here. I want to do a flush on this. So we got a 5/8 hose right here. I took off the hoses from the heater core, and one thing I noticed, and you got to do this when the vehicle's cold, one thing I noticed that this was clogged. So right now I got compressed air. This is nice and strong. I try to blow through it at first, but check that out. Look, it's barely pushing out. That lets you know that something is obstructing it. So we're just gonna keep on. Man, this is, I'm trying to push on there. What we're gonna do, we're actually gonna put a little flush in there, let it sit for about 30 minutes, and then after that we're gonna try to clean it out and do a proper flush and see how this goes. But yeah, it was kind of crazy, because at first it seemed pretty good. We were getting good temperatures, and while I was driving it, it dramatically dropped down. If we don't have good flow coming in here, and while we're driving and the water pump is all moving, we're not going to get good heating. So let me do this, and then we're going to test it out.
30 minutes later.
All right, now what we're going to do, we let it sit there for a little bit. I got my water hose on one side, and then I have the other hose over here. So we're going to flush everything out. I'm going to turn this on full blast, and then we're going to see exactly what we get. All right, this is a nice flow. Look at that. This is nice clear water. I'm actually liking this. This flush did its thing, and we just use regular radiator flush. And this is a nice little flow right here. So I want to put everything back together and see how she looks. All right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to put everything back on together. We're going to put our heater hoses back on, and then we're going to burp this again, and then we're going to retest this out, give it a test drive, and see how we do. So let me do this, and then we'll get back. All right, I just finished burping the system, and check out the temperature inside here. We are at 140 degrees. It is nice and toasty. I actually have to put the window down. So now the main thing that we're going to do is we're going to test drive this vehicle in a safe manner. I would just drive about a mile down and the temperature would go down. So right now I'm going to put the phone right here and we're just going to drive safely. Make sure that everything's good. We're going to verify if we have a fix right here. So right now we are driving and I just want to see where our temperature goes. And this is a big difference right here. Back then, whenever I started driving, the temperature was actually going down. This is actually going up. This is awesome right here. There you go. Look at that. I'm sorry I did not get the footage yesterday. I was literally about to start closing up. The cameras are pretty much away. Oh yeah, I'm telling you, it's nice and toasty right here. So as you can see, we're getting 155 out of the vents. 156. Yeah, by this time, while I was driving it, it was already dropping down to close to 105. So we started off at 131 and it would go down to 105. So you gotta be careful with these systems as well that have those bleeder valves. You gotta make sure that you can bleed that out, get all the air out of the system. Like on that little clip right there, we had to get all the air out of there. But as you can see, we are doing great. And before I stop this video, what I want to do, I'm going to get the FLIR camera and we're going to see the inlet and outlet and see the difference on that one. Remember the first part, it was about a 40-degree difference, and I believe the second part was about 14 after we burped the system. Now that we flushed out the actual heater core and burped the system, I want to see what difference we have. If we're getting 160 right now out of the vents, I want to see what's going in and out of the heater hose. So let's go check that out, and I'll put you down for a second. All right, so I got the FLIR camera out. Check this out. This is going to be the inlet, and then we have the outlet right here. So we got 174 to 160 at points. All right, so that's still about 14-degree difference right there. But like I said, when we went inside the vehicle, we checked everything out. These are nice and warm right here. As you can see, this is my hand. So there you go. We finished up the flush. We verified we got good flow going out through there. And this is going to be the fix. So there you go. If you do like this video, please put a big thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that little notification bell to get all brand new videos coming out from Miles Mechanics. Y'all take care. Y'all have a nice day.